Anne will indeed be back, and she will touch their lives again if you don't know the story, and my guess is that many of you know that story already. One more intermission in Anne of Green Gables. We've got another section to go before we conclude this second episode of Anne of Green Gables, and we'll remind you that we're here live in Studio B of Channel 25, hoping that as that phone that just rang, that we will hear from many of you. At 459-2525, is Anne of Green Gables still the kind of programming you'd like to see WVIZ bringing to you with your dollars? Because your dollars are what puts and keeps the station on the air, what makes this programming possible, and your dollars are the ones that have supported WVIZ for some 28 years now, have put it on the air, have brought you fine quality programming throughout northeastern Ohio. 50,000 members of the station have done that for about 28 years, and we'd like you to join that 50,000. That may sound like an awfully large number, and you may say, within that large number, I'm really not all that important. Well, that's not true at all. The fact of the matter is you are very important to us. We appreciate every pledge to Channel 25, be it $30 or $20 or $60 or $120 or $180, whatever you feel you can afford, whatever's within the realms of your budget. That's what counts, and that's what we hope you'll call and let us hear from you this afternoon. Got some wonderful volunteer operators off to my left here from Zonta International. As we've mentioned earlier, they have been with us all afternoon and will continue to be for some time yet. And they're answering those phone calls. You hear those phones ringing. You see a couple of them on the phone now taking a pledge. We hope that many of the rest of you who aren't calling yet will begin to do that. 284 new members is where we would like to count down to by the end of the evening tonight, about midnight, 12:30 or so. You see that number on the right-hand side of your screen. We started at 300 earlier this afternoon, and we're counting that down to 0. Been a little bit slow so far, and a little bit surprising this afternoon. We expected it would be much, we'd hear from many, many more of you than that. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm confident that's going to happen real soon, and I hope now is the time it's going to happen. We'll once more run through some of the premium items that we're making available to you as our way of saying thank you, as our way of encouraging you to go to the phone wherever it may be in your home. One, it's brand new this time around. A $120 pledge will bring you the Anne of Green Gables catalog. And we went through this briefly the last time, and I'll do that again. But I also want to let you know that when you get that catalog, you're going to get a $20 gift certificate with it. So your $120 pledge, you're going to get a $20 gift certificate right off the bat. That means that that pledge is really only $100 because you're going to be able to trade a lot of it for merchandise within the catalog. The catalog is chock full of some wonderful things, including, among others, Anne of Green Gables dolls, and I may not be opening to the right place, Anne of Green Gables collectibles like plates and mugs and so forth. There are dolls, there are ceramic dolls, there are soft dolls, there are Anne of Green Gables books and Anne of Green Gables video cassettes and Anne of Green Gables music, all of it dealing, of course, as you might imagine, with the various Anne of Green Gables and Lucy Maud Montgomery books that she has written. There is also Lucy Maud Montgomery poetry inside. All of it yours to choose. Take your pick out of the catalog of exactly what it is you would like to choose. The $120 pledge brings you that, your choice of anything within there with that $20 gift certificate. A $180 pledge will bring you your choice of either the Anne of Avonlea or the Anne of Green Gables video cassettes. These are VHS cassettes, and you get your choice of either one of these now for a $180 pledge to Channel 25. Each one of those has 2 cassettes within it. So 2 VHSs here, 2 VHSs here, your choice of whichever one you pick. Your $60 pledge to Channel 25 brings you the boxed set of the 3 Anne of Green Gables paperback editions, Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne of the Island. All 3 come to you within this box set. Again, our way of saying thank you very much. Now, the $60 pledge and the $180 pledges can be paid all at one time on your check or your Visa or MasterCard, or they can be paid on monthly installments if you'd like to do it that way. Break them down into monthly installments over the course of a year, $15 apiece for the $180 pledge and $5 apiece for the $60 pledge. The Anne of Green Gables catalog, the $120 pledge, has to be made to a Visa or MasterCard. That is a charge only because we've got a limited number of those available. So if you want the catalog along with the gift certificate, that's a charge-only pledge, and we must insist that you do it to Visa or MasterCard anytime during the course of the day today. Okay, you've heard from me. Now it's time for us, I hope, to hear from you. We're going to listen to a couple of minutes of music, of pledge music, to hopefully get you in the mood and induce that giving spirit on your part to give us a call and pledge your support. listen or watch while our members of Zonta International take your phone calls, take your pledges, and as we count those numbers down, now's your chance to speak. Is Anne of Green Gables what you'd like to see more of? Call and make a pledge right now. Let us hear from you. The phones are ringing loudly in the studio. In fact, at one point in time, every one of them was off the hook. Many of you are calling to talk about how you enjoy Anne of Green Gables. We appreciate that. We need to hear from many, many more of you who are not currently members of Channel 25. If you're having trouble getting through and, in fact, you want to make a pledge to WVIZ, I hope you'll take advantage of the opportunity either during the program or after the program. Keep dialing until you get through. We really do want to talk to you, really do want to hear from you at 459-2525. Let's go back and see the conclusion of Part 2 of Anne of Green Gables.